The question on everyone's mind is, when will the COVID-19 vaccine become available and distributed to the public? But as rollout continues, other problems like new variants of COVID rise. Funeral services were held yesterday for Gabby Petito in New York. The services were held at Maloney Funeral Home in Holbrook and was open to the public for several hours. Good morning, Peter. I am here at the Pioneer Park Historical Complex, and you may be wondering, okay, what's going on right now? Well, not much, but I promise you it will not be this quiet all summer. In fact, they actually opened up last weekend for their 89th season. Evers and other state Democratic leaders are reviving an attempt to eliminate a property tax paid by businesses. Welcome back. The Green Bay Packers will be looking to get into the win column tonight as they host their division rivals, the Detroit Lions. The Packers are coming off an embarrassing loss last week to the New Orleans Saints, 38-3. That'll be pretty gloomy out, but you can always bring some sunshine to somebody's day. Right? That's nice. So you know where we are. He gave you the address, so you have to come out here and check it out. We're going to give you a look at how we handled the spookiness inside. And there, I feel something coming up behind me. And
Oh no, Sarah.
Since the COVID-19 pandemic, many sobriety groups have had issues reaching out to members, whether it's virtual Zoom meetings or in-person meetings. Well, one local organization wanted to change things up and make sure that everybody had a ride. Prime Minister Ariel Henry has ordered the firing of the country's top prosecutor who was investigating the assassination of the late president. All right, I'm tired now. I don't know if you can see the sweat, but it works. And that's a lot of fun. Well, thank you so much, John, for sharing that info. And make sure you get out on the trail ride. I think we have some more dust to get.
10-4.
Hocus Pocus. It was one of my childhood favorites. It's still a favorite to this day. It always gets me in like a nice, like, fall Halloween spirit. I don't know, but I'm excited for this. I love it. So I don't know. Did you watch Hocus Pocus?
I've seen it before, but it's been a long time. I don't know if I ever got into it. I thought it was a decent movie, but I don't know if I ever got into it like you did.
Oh man, well we have to watch it. It's just like it's a great movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Good morning to you as well. And there was one point I got in my car. It said 99 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
My car.
Really?
It was really bad, but I don't like to leave my windows down because I don't want bugs to get in it. So I'm that person.
So, okay, you got to wait for a few minutes to blast the AC and all of that. Well, you might want to be putting that AC back on today.
If you're planning to enjoy the beauty of Wisconsin this weekend, you may want to head to a restaurant participating in something big. Nath or Frederick's Place will be holding a fundraiser for people who are experiencing homelessness in the Northwoods and partnering with local restaurants to do so. And joining us this morning is the sponsor, Allie Schroeder. Allie, how are you today?
Good, thank you.
Thank you. The Northwoods is filled with fun summer events that combine many different interests like Eagle River's Artorama. And joining us this morning to talk more about the summer event is co-chair Lori Hahn. Good morning to you, Lori.
Good morning, Sierra.
Time to celebrate the most popular pizza ever. It's National Pepperoni Pizza Day. Yes, the first pizza was reportedly created in 1889 by Rafael Esposito, and since then, pizza has evolved. You were so right, Devin. I lost my power last night at home when these things started, and it was really intense. But that first picture, wow, that really tells how that storm was, because it was way more intense than I think we thought it was going to be. What started off as a normal stroll in the Northwoods ended tragically for Stephanie Mikolajic and Stephanie Sosniak. The two friends wanted to take a stroll with their dogs and never knew what was coming.
We were really looking forward to just exploring a new path and enjoying a walk with the dogs.
About a half a mile up the trail, the dogs got into something.
This is a matter of 10 minutes, literally 10 minutes. One of the dogs started stumbling on her back legs.
And that was Darcy. She was the first to get into what looked like a loaf of bread, but then
she collapsed. And so my friend Steph, who was a veterinarian, watched this all unfold, and she said, you know, let's take her back to the car, because she wasn't sure at that point what was happening.
They worked together to bring the dogs up the trail with the sled, but then vomiting began and pulses got weaker. And that's when they realized the dogs had been poisoned.
Her pulses start getting weaker and weaker, and her respirations are becoming more shallow at that point. And then all of a sudden, stopped. She died.
but they had 2 other dogs, Iris and Panzer, to try and save. Mikolajic says when she learned Darcy was gone, it took a major piece of her too.
That dog is really special to us. We got her after my mom died, so she kind of helped me find joy again.
Iris and Panzer luckily healed up well. However, they found the poison was so strong that other animals were affected. Steph says if it wasn't for her dear friend, she doesn't know what would have happened.
There's no way I'd have any of these dogs if it wasn't for the situation, the way it unfolded.
If you have any information regarding what happened, please contact Happy's or call the DNR hotline 1-800-847-9367. In Rhinelander, Sierra Whaley, Newswatch 12.
Acknowledging that the foundation of our institution is built on a burial site is only one step in the right direction.
As you walk past the University Center at UW-Stevens Point, you may have no idea of what ground you're passing. However, the Native American Center Coordinator Iris Carafel says the time to acknowledge history is now.
I know that there was knowledge about it, but certainly there wasn't knowledge in the Native American community and not among the student community.
Knowledge that the UW-Stevens Point campus was once a Native American camp and burial site. Carafel says now is the time to acknowledge what happened to change what can be.
Everyone has an ugly history, I think, and so, or unfortunate history, and so I think by acknowledging it, it's a first step in recreating those relationships.
Around the 1860s, a diverse group of Native Americans were forced out of their homeland, which was right here in Stevens Point. The scarlet fever had taken over, and the deceased were buried right here behind me. Some people may misconstrue passion for anger, but Carafel wants to ensure history will never be forgotten again.
Students of color, like staff and faculty of color, a lot of times we might come off as angry in other people's perspective.
But says even she was nervous to dig deep into her history.
I had a very colorblind ideology growing up after leaving the reservation and attending a predominantly white high school. And so for me, I really didn't want to be a part of my heritage or my culture or anything like that until my junior year of college.
And once she discovered more of who she was, she realized this memorial marker was only the first step to acknowledging her history.
They will have hope for the ones who will follow us and trust this institution's actions will live up to its words. Miigwech, why thank you, Nampi. Thank you.
In Rhinelander, Sierra Whaley, Newswatch 12. I am here at the Minocqua Township offices, which is actually the only voting poll here in Minocqua. As you can see behind me right now, the flow is very light, but earlier around 7 o'clock, people were wrapped around the building, eager to get out here and vote. Overall, though, today is a beautiful day, and people are excited to put their vote in.
Let's go for the American people, and let's be strong and do this.
This is how Minocqua does it. Voting, that is. This presidential election has brought over 2,200 absentee ballots in, but there's something else in the air, and that's positivity. Residents here are beyond excited and proud to do what matters.
I voted today, and I encourage everybody to go out and vote. I am so excited that this is finally going to be over. We can hopefully get back to some normalcy.
Or create a new normality. Another Minocqua resident says this election helped her understand the political system in depth.
I think that's partly why I think voting is so important, because then it also helps people to read into the candidates and their stances, and so we know who we're putting or trying to put into offices and get things done that we believe in.
Minocqua Town Clerk Robin Haggart says she knew this would be a record-breaking voting turnout since 7:30 this morning.
Right at 7, the line wrapped around the block, so that was something we've never experienced before. Got everybody through relatively quickly. By 7:30, we had already had 100 people through, and it just flowed smoothly until then.
And with the current status of the election, you would think that people would come out here confused, a little tense, but people here in Minocqua are actually really excited to get out here and vote. The town officials say they've actually seen over 400 people already come through, and this is the most people they've seen vote here in Minocqua. So people are actually staying positive. They're ready to see what their vote will do for this election. In Minocqua, Sierra Whaley, Newswatch 12.